So Bezat Hashem will continue from yesterday in reference to the melacha of a person of being careful of not to hurt other people, especially the dibur, and even the machshava. We have a prohibition to suspect people of doing avera. You're not allowed to. Yeah, you're not allowed to. Choshed beksherim. It's one of the worst things that a person could do is suspect the other person doing avera, especially when he doesn't do it. We know that lashon hara is very evil, and the Motzei Shemra is actually worse. The Torah tells you a punishment for Motzei Shemra, right? The Torah tells you 100 coins he has to give a person when he's Motzei Shemra and his wife. Right? As we know that after the Racha Kamocha is very much the mitzvah is shayach to your wife, not just to people outside. So Motzei Shemra. It's after the Racha Kamocha. Obviously, who's their best friend? It's your wife. So after the Racha Kamocha, obviously it applies to your wife. But here a person is choshed b'ksharim. So we said yesterday that HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the Mishnah alludes to three things that are correspondence. One to the machshava, one of a thought, one of dibur, chas v'shalom, speaking to a person improperly, and the third thing we said, do things that harm other people. Chas v'shalom, to be one of those. And obviously the most important, posel, the Gemara says, you have to understand the most important element of a human being is posel b'mumo posel. We are judging other people as we are in our own deficiencies. For instance, one time they came to Moshe Feinstein and they told him, Rebbe, he lived in the Lower East Side. If you remember the Lower East Side, I don't know how old are you guys? Just kidding. Most probably you remember 42nd Street, right? Everybody knows 42nd Street in the 80s and 90s. Znut, Makom Znut, Habibi. That was the hub of prostitution. A hub of prostitution in Manhattan. Right? So what happened? They came to Rav Moshe Feinstein and they said, Rabbi, we have to move out of here. The rabbi says, what do you mean we have to move out of here? Go to Staten Island. They bought land over there, so let's move there. They said, so the rabbi asks, why you want me to move? So he answered them, they answered him, Rabbi, you don't see? He says, what should I see? People who are immune, people who see Chas v'Shalom Znut, it's because it bothers them because it relates to them. Rabbi Moshe Feinstein, one time there's a story about Rabbi Moshe Feinstein in the 1960s. There was a Reform rabbi who was a very knowledgeable person fighting with Rabbi Moshe Feinstein publicly in the newspapers. Was literally attacking the rabbi. He's attacking his Dat Torah. So they asked Rabbi Moshe Feinstein once, here's the person here is attacking you publicly, what should you do? What you want to do about it? He said, I'm going to write a statement. And he wrote, Le'olam, in my life I never saw a newspaper. Rabbi Moshe Feinstein says, I never saw a newspaper. He says, this is the answer? He says, yes. That's the answer. I never saw a newspaper in my life. I asked him, what kind of response is this? He says, my Torah is 100% pure from the Rebbe's, from the Rebbe of the Rebbe. I don't have anything chitzoniyut in my knowledge. This person is writing a newspaper, I'm sure he's reading newspapers. So where his Dat Torah is, Rahman al-Islam, he's all mishkabubble. He's all mixed up. I can't talk to people like that. See? People relate to something that they relate to, that bothers them. So when you see another person doing something evil, it's mistama. לא, משה, אין זמן היום. אין זמן היום ללמוד בשולחן. תעזוב. אוקיי. עליך להיזהר שלא תגיע מההסתכלות זו בעברך איזה נזק, לא במחשבה ולא בדיבור ולא במעשה. The rabbi says you have to be very careful not to cause any harm to your friend, not with the thought, not with the language, not with your speech, and definitely not with action. ולכן השאלה כפולה פעמים, today by the way is the Erev Yom Tov, the 14th of Tishrei, Wednesday, the 4th day of the week of Parshat Shabbat, Chol HaMoed Sukkot. So he says like this, לכן השאלה כפולה פעמיים לתשובה רק פעם אחת, לומר שאף על פי ששאלה זו שייכת גם לחברך, אבל התשובה היא רק לך שתסתכל רק בשפלות עצמך ולא בשפלות חברך. He says, we had the whole question, how did we start this discussion? We said that Hagar was approached by an angel and he asked her, he pointed to her twice in the well. The well, why? He said, why the pasuk has to say twice the well? So he says the well is very deep and has a lot of things in it, right? So over here, but the answer is towards one. She answered one way. She was running away from her mistress. You know, I said this guy is going to force me to learn over here. Baruch Hashem. We have so many things to do. Anyway, but so he says like this: a person, it's uncontrollable. You cannot not judge others. You will judge others. Remember that you will judge others. You will see a deficiency into him. So he says, why? Listen to this, Rabbi Moshe Amber, out of this world. Why does it say twice that Amalach asked her the question or pointed out to her the concept of the well? Twice is because you will have that in your mind. Why is he has that deficiency? Why is he doing this problem? Why is he behaving like this? Meaning, ask him why is he doing it, and then ask yourself why are you affected by it? Why is it bothering you? Because if something that, let's say for instance, example, you go to a nut house, nut job, and the guy is screaming, I'm a president of the United States, I'm Mashiach, I'm anything, right? I'm Napoleon. What do? You feel sorry for the guy. Do you start berating him? Hey, what are you saying? No. You know that he's already, so here's the concept. When you see other people doing something that bothers you, reality is, yes, you can't avoid it. You see it. Now the question is, why is it bothering you? Why is it bothering you? Again, I'm in a nut house and the guy is screaming, I'm your husband, I'm your wife, I'm your father. You don't care, the guy is in that case. But here you see a person doing something wrong. You see something wrong. So the question is, why is it bothering you that you're seeing it? So Hamam teaches us because you posel, anything that bothers you with the others, you have it in you. How do I know it from? Rahmanad's son. Watch this. What does that mean? You see a person going with a prostitute. You see somebody coming to the 42nd Street, hiring a prostitute. And it happened to be a big rabbi. He just sold you yesterday a rope. Now you're looking at this, you're going crazy. You're going crazy, right? 1 second. You're going crazy. Why are you going crazy? There, this rabbi is. Yeah, you sure? You think it's not? You have no effect on it? You're a rabbi. I never hired a prostitute. I had never seen a prostitute. I never been dating a prostitute. Never talked to a prostitute. This guy just told me network yesterday, and he's borrowing. Forget about rabbi, anybody, any person. Why is it bothering you? You know why it's bothering you? The Chazal tells you, you have that inside of you. You have the desire, you have the timtum, you have that dirt that in you. How do I know? How dare me say it? Very simple. Where we have the proof, I'm going to end with this. The proof is very simple in the Tanakh. The most outrageous thing happened. The Jewish nation came to attack the second city, when the second town we were supposed to take over. First one was what? Which was the first town that we took over when we came to Eretz Israel with Yehoshua? No, come on, guys. Jericho, everybody knows it. Yericho, number one. Number one city we conquered was Yericho. That was when we crossed, and it was a big miracle. Second city, who knows? The second city was called Ayin Yud. What happened in that city? Why do I remember that city? Why do we all supposed to know that city? Because something out of this world happened. Imagine yourself, Yehoshua fought for 14 years to conquer the Eretz Israel. Not one loss of life. 14 years. The worst. Yehoshua conquered 32 malachim. Not one person died except for one place. The second city that we tried to conquer, we lost 36 Lamed Vavnikim, 36 tzaddikim. 36 tzaddikim died in that conquest, in that city.
Why?
So Yehoshua comes to Hashem and he says, I don't understand you. You promised us. Nothing going to happen. What happened? What happened here? So Hashem says, what are you talking about? You're all sinners. You're all evil.
What?
He says, Hashem replies to him, you're all nation, bunch of hooligans, you're all liars, you're thieves, you're all evil. Look at the pasuk, it's crazy. You're all bad people.
After 14 years.
No, second city and the second conquest.
Yeah, but you said for 14 years.
14 years, nothing does, all the
He
worst.
walked into the city
Except for
of
the
Rome.
second quest, again. There were 32 kingdoms that we had to conquer. Took 14 years. But throughout all the 14 years, there was no losses. But the second war, we had 36 tzaddikim died. 36 Ravavadias died. We were murdered.
Because we're all
Second war. So Yoshua says, what's going on here? So Hashem says, you're all Rashaim. So what you all Rashaim? You all thieves. We're all thieves. What happened? There was one person, one. The Tanakh says one. Shevet Yehuda, what did he do? Yoshua said, no one is allowed to touch anything from the Yericho. Yericho is muhram, meaning everything must be burned and don't touch nothing. One Jew, he went and he took 200 golden coins. One Jew took 200 golden coins. One Jew. What happened? One Jew, the Hashem says, you're all Averot.
Wow.
You're all sinners. The rabbis tell us, what is going on here? הוא גנב $200. לקח, סך הכל. He took 200 golden coins, 36 tzaddikim had to die, and Hashem declared the whole nation Rashaim because of one person. Why? Why did Chazal explain to us? Because we are called a nation, we are compared to a grapes. How does a grape spoil? You see a grape, a shkol of grape, you have a whole cluster of grapes, and there's one spoiled. Do you know, if you do scientific research on that whole cluster, the whole cluster is spoiled? Yes, scientists, what happened? Each one of the grapes that are sitting together, they're all affecting each other. And because there is a deficiency in each one of them somewhat, there is one that gets all the energy of bed. He gets to be spoiled. If one of those, the whole cluster, if one of them is 100% healthy, that black one will not be black, will not turn black.
If one is healthy and everything is dirty?
No. If they're all pagum, if they all have some kind of deficiency, they're all 95%.
Yeah. And
one of them is 100%, that one will not turn black. When one turns black, when all of them are less than 100% perfect.
So one good one affects everybody, one bad one affects everybody?
No, other way around.
Why?
Oh, okay, I said something else, you're turning it around. The whole cluster, if it's not 100% perfect, not a problem. If the whole cluster is 99% perfect, and one of them is 100% perfect, one will not turn black.
Because that one is 100%.
Right. As soon as they all become 99%, one black becomes black. He is the most affected. That's the only time it happens. And that's Am Israel. If we're all perfect, if I'm good, my neighbor doesn't have, what's his name, his children, Michalev Shabbat. If I'm 100% perfect. Since I'm not 100% perfect, my neighbor's children, maybe I'm not Mechalel Shabbat. My children don't Mechalel Shabbat, Baruch Hashem. But why is my neighbor Mechalel Shabbat? Why do I see that? Because I am not perfect. Because I have the deficiency. And that's where we end, B'ezrat Hashem. Baruch Adonai Olam, Amen. Amen.
Beautiful.